Good morning, everybody. I hope you are getting this message in a quality video format. We are having internet issues here. Spectrum just sent me an outage notice at Liberty, so I'm running off of my phone hotspot this morning. If it's a terrible video quality, I'll reshoot. Sound good? But in the meantime, let's track this out. Here we go. It is October week 3 for everybody, Tuesday and beyond. My Monday people, you guys are still doing week 2, right? Because you started a little bit late. It's okay. No worries. But this video is for week 3. So Tuesday to next Monday is what we're going to be talking about. I've got some clay examples to show you. I've got my coffee. Besides the internet issues, things are going well. I hope you guys are having a good Monday morning. Real quick, couple really important notes that people get. Number 1, tomorrow is the deadline to RSVP for the fall party. So please make sure that you do that if you're planning on joining us on Sunday. Okay. The other note is if you're in a Friday class in Liberty, we do not have fundamentals or creative explorations. And I'll remind you when we get to those sections as well. But just a note for those. And that's it. You ready to go? All right, let's talk about these classes. Starting in preschool, remember this is our month where we're doing lines, we're doing clay, we're looking at the art of Mondrian. Last week, the kids played with string and they practiced painting with strings. And remember, when we do these invitations, where they take it is totally up to them. It is simply an invitation to create. So if it devolved into finger painting or evolved into finger painting, we're okay with that, as long as everybody's being safe. That's the only rules. So we did some string painting to kick things off, and then we painted the first coat of paint on our bowls, on our clay bowls. This week we'll put our second coat of paint on those bowls so that they can go home. For most of our classes, this is your last week of classes, the exception being Mondays, right? Because you're a week behind. And Fridays, because you won't be meeting this week, so you won't have your last class until next week, okay? But if it is your last week of October, then you will take your clay bowls home. They'll be all finished and ready for you at the end of class. Sound good? What else do we need to talk about? We're going to read we're going to read Elmer. We read The Perfect Square last week, so we're going to read Elmer. This is a great book for lines because we make patchwork patterns using lines, but when we fill them in, they then become a pattern that's called patchwork, and that's what Elmer is the patchwork elephant. It's a great tie-in to November's curriculum because in November, we're going to look at the art of Henry Matisse, and we're going to start talking about patterns. In our multimedia classes, and this is where I've got some examples to show you, we are doing our clay projects, and our youngest kids are doing slab building, which involves like rolling out a pancake of clay, cutting it out, and adding like texture to it or adding additional clay pieces to it. If they add additional clay pieces, they have to score and slip, which is our way of like roughing up the surface and then adding a watered down kind of gluey clay to it so that those pieces stay attached. Then I brought a couple examples of some of our fish work. Now these slabs are, they're going to be hung on a wall. So we're going to make a hanger for them. You can see some of our clay fish. So this artist has a lot of great texture. You can see they've got like a freckle or polka dot texture. They also have some lines going on in pattern. They've also added some pieces on top using that scoring and slipping method. The kids decided on the shape of their fish and all of their designs. Here's another one. Now this one is spray painted. So this is a step that the instructors do prior to your kids getting them back in class this week. So this actually is a Thursday fish. So it hasn't been sprayed, right? Because it was just built on Thursday. So it's still a little damp. I mean, we'll give it until tomorrow and we'll probably go ahead and start spraying. This guy here, this is a Tuesday build. And so on Friday, they sprayed these in Liberty. So this is a fish that's already been sprayed with black spray paint, and that just gives it kind of a protective coat. We'll get the back done today. So our plan this week for all of the Tuesday through Friday classes, and then next Monday is to start painting. So they will get their clay projects that'll look like this, and they will put an acrylic paint on top. We would like you, please, to wear old clothes to the studio. We do have paint shirts that we can throw over you know, clothing to protect it. But keep in mind, paint doesn't always stay just on your top part. Like it does get on the pants, especially on the fingers, and then they wipe it on the pants. So it's best just to wear art close to the studio. Acrylic paint is not a washable paint. Feel like the screen keeps flashing, which makes me think the internet is like, ah. Maybe I'll go over here and look at the YouTube. I'm looking at my Zoom. I'm not looking at my YouTube. Oh yeah, I look super choppy. That's frustrating. We're just gonna run through it. We'll see what happens. You know, there's nothing I can do. Like, you know, if I could do faster internet, I would. I'd pay for faster internet. It's just not working right now. All right. 4th and 5th grade, let's talk about them. So my 4th and 5th graders, you guys are making pinch pots, and that these will then become planters, since I brought a couple examples. A pinch pot is a way of sculpting and shaping clay using first a sphere, and then you make the walls just by squishing and shaping. And then they did some additive work around the top, or like this guy here in the front. I think it might be a piggy. And that will become a planter. We have another pinch pot example. I do. This one's a pinch pot example. Again, Thursday kiddo, right? So these guys here are already spray painted black. You can see they chose the shape of their bowl. They also chose how they did the designs on the outside and what they added to it. They were also going to be painting, so similar to what we said about the K 3rd grade classes. These kids are also painting this week. So if you're in a Tuesday through Monday class, next Monday class, that is a painting week. So make sure you wear old clothes. Acrylic paint will not come out. All right. We'll get all of our painting done, hopefully. And then that way in the 4th week, we can just get artist statements, finishing touches, and get those cute little succulents planted inside. I get to order succulents tomorrow is my date to order them. I get them, they're little like, they're made for like wedding favors. They're 2-inch live succulents, and they come like just in an assortment. It's cute. I get them from Amazon. So try not to order them too early so I don't have to care for them. All right, our 6th, obviously I didn't finish the typo either. I just copy and paste these slideshows, you guys. Our 6th and 7th and 8th through 12th grade classes are also building planters, but they're using a different method. So rather than starting with that sphere and opening up the walls, they're starting with a slab base and they're coiling up the walls. It's a lot of slipping and scoring. It's a different way of building. And so lots of great technique happening there. So this is a coil pot here that one of our artists has built. Again, it's a black one because it would be a Tuesday class. So it's spray painted. I don't know if you can see, but they've got this cute little kitty cat that they've sculpted to lay on top of there. And then I've got another coil pot. And this one is, this is a Thursday kid, right? So it's not sprayed. And you can see they've like their slab started out in an oblong shape. And so their coil followed that shape. And so that's their coiling method. Okay. So our 6th, 7th, 8th, 12th also painting this week. So these clay pots will be dry enough. They'll be primed with black paint, and we'll be putting acrylic paint on top of those to go ahead and you know, make it look like how they want it to look and not just be black. They don't use spray paint, they use acrylic. It is not washable, so please wear old clothes to the studio. We'll try to get all of our stuff painted this week so we can plant next week. Creative explorations. So they've been doing clay hand building. They've been looking at the history of clay. They've been drawing vessels and vases. The large scale painting with odd painting tools has been super popular. That's a collaborative vertical surface invitation. Also had Play-Doh out and the field corn, because the field corn is out in the preschool room, so might as well pull it out for this class. I did bring a piece of clay because our creative explorations people also get to make projects. They don't have to make projects because this is a child-led class, but they do have the ability to make something. They can work on it for multiple weeks, or they can make it once and send it home. We don't tell them what to make, but a lot of them have some experience in art, or they can ask us, like, how do I make a pot? And we'll be happy to show them. So one of our artists, and of course it's green and I have a green screen, so bear with me, but one of our artists made this little guy here. And they've had 2 classes. So they built the first class, they painted the second class. And I think probably maybe we'll add a little bit more paint to some of it, or we will encourage them to. But I wanted to show you that they do make stuff in creative explorations if they want to. But it is not a requirement. It's a process art class and it's child-led. So whatever they'd like to do is a-okay with us as long as we're being safe, right? For our creative explorations people, so Wednesday people in Platte Woods, this is your last class of October. We're going to look at a calendar here in a little bit when we get to the housekeeping. So just be aware that you're going to have 2 days off before we come back for November. My Friday people in Liberty, you do not have class this week. So don't come. You will have your 3rd class of October next week. So that's the, see, it's not the 18th because that's this week. That's the 25th is your last class of October. And then you will have a week off too because you will not start on November 1st because nobody wants to start a month on a Friday. I don't. That's too confusing. It's bad enough we have to start months on Tuesdays. Okay, here we go. Drawing classes. So I'm going to set all my multimedia stuff off to the side and let's pull out some drawing books. Drawing 101. We dressed as pirates, and I might have made a mistake in the last week's video. I know I made a mistake in the notes that I typed up because I type up all the clip notes for the video first, and then that's what I follow along with. And I had flipped in the notes 102 and 101. And so I don't know if I said that. I can't imagine I would have said that 102 was drawing treasure maps, but I might have. So I might have flipped it on the notes. I don't know if I flipped it on the video. I didn't go back and look. But 101, we dressed as pirates and we drew treasure maps. So we learned about what a bird's eye view was. We learned about perspective. We learned about scale and symbolism. And then we drew maps on brown paper. We crinkled them up and we tried to age them using like black with liquid watercolor that was a little bit like worn down. It was fun making the maps. It was even more fun trying to follow our friends' maps. So the maps were of our classroom and that we had hidden treasure around it. And then we tried to find the treasure by following other people's maps. So a lot of fun ways of drawing and using drawing as a form of communication. So that was a super fun invitation. This week, they're going to be drawing pumpkin still lifes. And so we're gonna make those. And I think maybe that's where I messed up. It's because that's what 102 did last week. But we're going to draw, or no, we're not. Allison, look at the notes. It's not true. We're not doing pumpkin still lifes. We're doing haunted houses. This is what happens when I get crazy. No, we're doing pumpkin still lifes with chalk pastels. That's what it says. So that must be what it is. I feel like that's not right. I'm going to go look at the curriculum, you guys, because I want to tell you correctly. Let's find out. It only takes me a second to pull up curriculum, assuming the internet is good enough. Is the internet good enough? Drawing, October 101. Oh yeah, we're doing pumpkins. We're doing pumpkins. Okay, my notes were right. My memory was wrong. So who knows? All right, so our what a day, guys. What a day. Our 101 class is going to do pumpkins. We'll do them with chalk pastels, and then we're going to collage on some jack-o'-lantern faces if they want to. But we do have live pumpkins in the studio for them to look at and reference. All right, 102. They did do pumpkin still lifes last week, and so I brought some examples. Look how fun those are. So we looked at pumpkins, and we drew them in chalk pastels. We talked about this one. I love this one. Do you see that shadow on that orange pumpkin? It is blue, like it should be, because blue is the complementary color of orange. So we got a nice cool shadow going on that pumpkin. Sometimes in this arrangement, you'll also see that like a white pumpkin will reflect on the orange pumpkin. So we have a lot of opportunities to talk about the way light moves around a room and around an arrangement. So this is a really great drawing exercise and an exercise in using our observation skills. There's also a good exercise in hue and understanding color, which is, something that is totally different than drawing in black and white. So great job on our 102s for drawing our pumpkin still lifes. This is realistic. They are drawing haunted houses. And so we're going to get out perspective worksheets again. We're going to get out rulers. We're going to talk through 1-point and 2-point perspectives. And we're going to draw houses in perspective now. And then we'll make them spooky haunted. Right. So the real drawing objective, you guys, is architecture and houses. And then since it's the season, then we can add fun things like pumpkins and ghosts and cobwebs and shutters that are falling off and things like that. That's all we're talking about here. Nothing too crazy. Okay. All right. So that's my 102 advanced realistic. My 102 comic, they drew plants and flowers last week. And so I brought a couple of their folders with me. I also brought some of the curriculum because I kind of wanted to show you where we're going with this class. This is very different than what we've done for the past 4 years that we've taught this class. We completely revamped the curriculum. And we went from something that was very comic focused and people focused to something that's a more broad, like illustrative class, a way of exploring illustration. And so what we did was we wanted them to look at real life things and translate that into an illustration. What we had been doing was having an instructor teach illustrative, like I draw an illustration, you draw my illustration. And that's a different and easier way to draw, right? If you've already solved the problem of what that realistic flower photograph looks like in a simple line drawing, all I have to do is copy your line drawing. That's a lot easier. And what we wanted to do was remove that step and have them do it, not us. And so the way the curriculum works, and this one isn't going to work because it's green, is that they get photographs to reference, right? Because some of us might have a library in our brain of flowers or of animals, and some of us need like photographics. And so we show them photographs of whatever our subject is, and then they translate that into an illustration. What lines do I remove? What lines do I keep? How do I simplify it? How do I rotate it in space? Those kinds of things. And so that is what they are working through. And we've got some really great things happening. And I kind of turn it on the side since there's so much green in it. Isn't that great? So that was one of the plant ones. Here's another, I think. I pulled it, so I assume there's a plant one in here somewhere for me to look at. Okay. So they're very different because unlike our realistic drawing where we're just trying to draw what we see, our illustrative drawings have a lot of design choices and decisions to make. So that's our illustrative drawing. This week, we're going to move away from plants and we're going to go to trees, right? So far we've done some animals, we've done some flowers, we've done some plants. We're going to look at trees, look at photographs of trees, and then talk about how to illustrate them. 103 classes. Well, I had 103s, but it looks like I left them in the classroom. You want to go on a field trip? I mean, why not, right? We can unplug. Let's go on a field trip. See if we can. Am I attached to things? Okay, no, I'm good. What a day. Here we go. There they are. I see, I got them out. They're right here on this table. Let me go back. So our 103 illustrative are doing that split portrait, but I didn't pull any of their examples because they just finished week 1 last week. They have week 2 tonight in Liberty anyway, because our illustrative kiddos are a Monday class, right? And so they have week 2 tonight. So there's nothing to show you. They should get stuff drafted tonight and then I can show you next week. And if I can't remember, Platwood's illustrative, they might be a Tuesday class. So they might have some stuff to show, but I don't. My 103 advanced realistic kids. Yeah, I gotta get my green screen figured out here again. They are doing reflections, and so I thought I'd show you kind of where they're at. So this is an example of one of the photo references that they had to choose from. They had other ones. This one was pretty complicated, but you can see the artist has gridded it out using like a greenish colored pencil. And then they have gridded out their paper likewise, and they are slowly going through and filling in the boxes, one box at a time. I'm going to show you one more example. That artist did not use a viewfinder. That artist is my daughter. She didn't want to. This artist does. And so this one here, this is a glass. And so it looks like this. right? And this artist, their grid is on their paper. They got to choose the scale of their grid, the size of their grid, as long as it matched what was on their paper. And then they have cut a viewfinder, because then you can take this viewfinder, I'm gonna hold that up, and cover up everything except for like the square you're working on, and just draw that square, if that makes sense. So we made some viewfinders last week, and we're just working through all the squares. So it is tedious. I personally love it. I find it relaxing to do, but some people really dislike that style of drawing. But it's a great skill to have. And if you ever needed to take a picture and blow it up, right, really big, grid drawing is a great way to do it. It's a great way to work collaboratively. It's a great way to make sure that you have accuracy. So yeah, it's a good skill. Whether they like it or not, it's a good skill. All right, let's go ahead and move on. My 103, they're just going to keep working. In case you were wondering, like, what are they doing this week? They're going to keep working. They have to get all those boxes done. All right, a couple housekeeping things. First things first, reminder, there are no preschool classes on Friday morning. There are no creative exploration classes on Friday evening. That is because Liberty Public Schools are off, and we put our Halloween classes on those days. So the deadline to RSVP for the fall party is tomorrow. Please make sure you do that if you're coming. Fall party is from 4 to 6 this coming Sunday, and all the details are on the RSVP sheet. Okay. Here we go. Looking ahead. So I did want to show you this calendar. So October's got some 5 Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, and that means some off days. You want to see what that looks like? Hang on, I got it. Boom. Here we go. This is the month of October. So for anyone who's wondering, this is what this looks like. So normally my drawing classes and my multimedia classes meet 4 times a month. And so you on like a Thursday, right? You've met on the 3rd, the 10th, the 17th, and the 24th, which means you get the 31st off, which is great because it's Halloween and we got other things to do. Same with my Tuesdays, right? So the 1st, the 8th, the 15th, and the 22nd, and then you get the 29th off. Okay. Wednesdays, creative explorations we don't have drawing and multimedia classes on Wednesdays, but if we did, they would have the 30th off. For my creative explorations people, you guys will not meet on the 23rd, right? Because you only meet 3 times a month. So yours is the 2nd, the 9th, and the 16th. Okay. And then way over here for my Monday people, remember you've been behind, right? Because we started on Tuesday. So my Monday people, you guys don't have any days off. You're going to go right into November. And actually you're going to start November for us because November 1st, which you can't see, is on a Friday because my chair's in the way. That's November 1st. We're not starting classes on Friday. So any Friday classes are not meeting. We have enough days in November. It's all good. November will start on Monday the 4th. For those of you who are curious about how the holiday schedule is going to work, I will come up with a similar graphic for you so that you can understand it. My classes, if you're a 4-part class, like a drawing or a multimedia class, you are affected by the holidays, the way that the Thanksgiving week works. If you've been around a while, we don't just take it off. We will give you your 4th class. It just will not be necessarily during your normal class time. We're going to do them as open studios, and we'll have details as soon as we get to November, I promise, so that you guys can plan that. If you want to know what it looks like right now, you can email me and I'll tell you, but I'm not going to make people confused by talking about it on an October video. Or you can go to our calendar page on our website and just look at the Google Calendar and it's there. All right. Last housekeeping thing. I've had some people ask about second semester registration. So right now, for those of you who are getting this video, you are enrolled through the end of December, which is the end of our fall semester. The spring semester, the second semester, runs January through May, and we have to re-enroll for that. Nobody is automatically enrolled. Got that? Nobody is automatically enrolled. You do have to re-enroll for the next semester. And so we open that to the public December 1st. But for you guys that are currently enrolled in classes, I will send you your link to sign up starting November 2nd, November 22nd. That's the Friday before Thanksgiving. Okay, so I will send that to you because that way you've got, you know, a number of days, 8 days, right, to go ahead and do that. I like to get it out before the holidays, so that way you've got plenty of time. It doesn't get lost in the shuffle. If I send it out over Thanksgiving, nobody sees it. What I don't want to have happen is you lose your spot in class. That's basically how that is. Okay. But again, more information will come. But since people have asked. All right, that's it, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully the video quality wasn't too terrible. It looks like it is, but hopefully not. I hope everyone has a really great week, and I will see a lot of you at the fall party this weekend.